Hey guys, we're back again. This is West Atlantic Bourbon Society. We moved the mic down there by Leslie because everybody said that they can't hear Leslie and I scream too much. So today we have positioned ourselves to where I'm on the end and Leslie is closest to the mic. This here is Keith.
How's it going, y'all?
Leslie's on the end.
Hola.
And I'm Kevin. What we're trying today is something really special. It's a 45-year-old bourbon. It was made by James Thompson and Brothers. It is a 45-year-old Final Reserve bourbon. Originally, James Thompson, the original James Thompson, got in business with George Gavin Brown, which, as everybody knows, that's the guy who actually got with Brown and Foreman and made Brown Foreman Distillery, which houses Old Forester and Woodford Reserve. So they got together and they started distilleries and started contracting distilling, and then eventually they broke up. So James Thompson started his own distilling, which became Yellowstone Distillery and housed different brands such as Old Thompson and Yellowstone brand. Eventually they came back with the Yellowstone Select, and these bottles were actually bottles that were earmarked to be a select bottle or a special bottle of Yellowstone. They were special cherry-picked Yellowstone Distillery barrels, I mean. So, as we know, this was back in the Stitzel-Weller days, back when they had the good juice and all that kind of stuff. And they housed it. They were originally going to release it either on the 30-year mark or in the year 2000 for the millennial. But it didn't get released then. It was still aging, and they just released it 45 years later, which would be 2 years ago, and then they vatted it for 2 years. So really, this is a 47-year-old bourbon, but it's 45 in the barrel, 2 vatted, however you want to decide that. So we're going to go ahead and start tasting it, but I do want to let you know that I've tasted this next to Brown Foreman products, and it has a similar nose, and I looked up the mash bill, the similar mash bill. The mash bill on this one is 75% corn. The mash bill on Brown Foreman products are 73% corn. So it's all the same kind of ratio, the same kind of idea, and the same kind of smells. We'll go through that as we go through the smells. So we'll start off with the box. The box comes like this. It comes with a sifter, a piece of the barrel stave right here. It comes with a 750 milliliter regular 5th bottle, a nice little booklet that explains all the lineage and how it came to be, and how they were one of only 6 distilleries that had a license to produce medical alcohol or medical bourbon and whiskey during the Prohibition times. And then we have a nice little card here that says thank you for buying this, because 90% of the proceeds went towards helping veterans. The other 10% went to the Fraser Museum, History Museum in Louisville, which actually sponsored this and released the bottles. So we'll start with, and it also came with a little tester, a little 100 milliliter tester of the bourbon that we're going to drink out of tonight and today and see what this tastes like. So let's open it up and see what's going on. Probably pouring out about $100 here.
Save that trip.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's good. So we'll start off smelling it.
That's a good smell.
Oh my God, the nose on it is fantastic.
It's amazing. It really is.
It smells like a bouquet of dark roses. It's like fantastic stuff. Cherry.
Like dark, rich cherry, like, you know.
That's probably the best smell.
Like when you smell the bourbon cherries, like how
Yeah.
it's nice and rich and aged.
Like the bourbon
it's
cherries.
Kind of the same thing with this particular, you know.
It's a hint of honey too.
Yes.
Yeah, I smell the honey in it.
Definitely, the
That's
smell
good.
has all the flavors.
I smell a little bit of chocolate in it, like a dark chocolate or milk chocolate maybe.
That's
Like a creamy
tad bit of
vanilla and almond.
I get the almond out of it too,
almond,
yeah.
almond honey.
Oh my God, there's just so many smells to this.
Yeah, it's a lot.
God, dog.
Wow.
Smells like a cherry almond pie.
Yes, yes.
Goodness.
A little banana bread in there, a little bit
That
of
smells
walnut
good.
bread. Yeah, like kind of like a nutty taste to
It's
it.
definitely a sweet, nutty,
Yeah.
Yes.
nutty taste, but it's definitely,
By far the best smells.
you know, definitely hasn't caramelized too much, so it definitely still looks like it has like a lot of
Goodness.
rich body in it.
I'm surprised after 45 years it still has a smell. Like everybody said, they thought it would be like over oaked and just like you know, dead barrel, and it wouldn't taste any good or smell any good.
Definitely
The
smells.
smell of this,
opposite
God,
of it.
dog, guys.
Wow.
You don't ever get to taste it, so
If you-
please go smell it. It's amazing.
If you breathe into the cup, the outpour of
Wakes you
the,
up too.
oh my God.
Wow.
I've had Stitzel juice. I've had everything. I've had Pappy old stuff. I've had Old Taylor.
And this,
Yeah, Old Fitzgerald.
this
This
is
tastes
topping
okay.
it. It's topping it. Yeah.
This is definitely a 10 out of 10 on smells.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
11 out of 10.
Or
on
a
smell.
100 out of 100.
I haven't had a smell like this ever. Right?
You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
index.
Ah.
It's definitely amazing.
All right, let's take a small taste of it, and then we're going to do three things. We're going to taste it like this. We're going to put a little bit of honey water in it, and then a little bit of another 120 proof bourbon to see what it tastes like all three
Definitely
ways.
You
doing.
definitely get maple in this too. Maple
Yeah.
smell.
Definitely, that's the top of the icing on that one.
Whoa.
Whoa! Woo!
You just triggered my freak. Like, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. My ears just went bing.
Yeah, popped over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that
Wow.
feeling when you
Wow.
when you are getting ready to leave out on a winter morning and you open the door and it's just like a cold winter breeze hits you? That's kind of how it felt going
That's
across
exactly,
your
yeah.
mouth.
That was like
It
a.
was just like
That was a crazy feeling
like
when you sip
like
it.
an ice sheet went over your mouth with.
Wow.
You know,
It's 100. It's 120 proof. It is still doing things in my mouth right now.
Yeah.
And
So when I first drunk it, it had like a
It
real
opened you up.
citrusy.
It
Right.
popped it open.
It opened you up. It had a real citrusy fruit taste to it. On the back palate, I got
Wow.
more cocoa, a lot of wood. Of course, it's kind of like Pappy 23 is real oaky.
This is shit.
Um,
Excuse my language.
Yeah. Shit on Pappy, right.
Oh my
We
god.
like
It
you
was-
happy, but you know what? This one definitely
Wow.
has been a very,
But then afterwards, it had
Sweet too.
just a hint of tannin, just a hint of tannin, like sherry, like dried sherry.
Wow.
It was like it had dried sherry taste to it. Not
I mean,
even.
when you smell it,
tannin.
it smells like you're stepping into a baked goods shop. And
Yeah.
you're about to have a nice warm pie delivered to you.
But
When you
but
take
then,
a taste, though, it's more of a morning eye opener of that, like kind of like that cup of coffee you have to wake you up. This definitely is something that's just like.
I actually got a little
a
coffee
burst.
on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I
I
swallowed,
taste maple right now.
yeah,
That-
after I
that
swallowed,
burst.
I got the sweetness
Maple leaves.
and the maple leaves, yeah, and then the walnuts came up on the. It's like it went
It's
back to the top of my tongue
Definitely
and back
a
down
smooth
again.
ending, like the main
Woo!
description is definitely right.
I was
there
scared,
on the
guys.
end.
I was scared. I was buying $1,800 of crap here. Okay, I was really worried here.
That's
I was really worried when I bought this.
I'm
But,
sorry, I don't care what anyone has to say. This is amazing.
oh my god.
Definitely worth every penny.
Okay, is there enough in each other's glass? Let's put just a drop of sugar water in.
Goodness.
A drop of limestone water.
Honestly,
See what it tastes like.
I'm sorry, I had to take one more sip. Just
Yeah, please.
That's worth buying.
All right, just a drop, just a drop.
There you go.
It's gonna cost you some rent money to buy a bottle of this.
Yeah, Jesus God.
Goodness.
I can't like this no more, man, because this is gonna be expensive. Now I gotta go out there and pay $8,000 on the secondary market to buy the rest of these bottles.
Now what do you smell now? Because I'm definitely smelling citrus. It's opening up.
I'm still smelling those cherries. It's getting more raspberry and a little more like boysenberry or something, like some kind of weird exotic
I smell like
red
juniper.
berry.
I smell like
Juniper?
juniper. Oh, a little bit of juniper in there. Tad bit when you open it up.
Yeah, just a tad.
A tad, like probably like 0.3%. Which is crazy.
Here, just take a dip of limestone water in there just to change because the limestone water will actually change. It'll open it up because that's what it's made with is limestone water. So just put 2 dashes here, 2 dashes of limestone water. I mean, literally 2 dashes.
Wow.
swirl it around a little bit, see if it.
Almost done on, so I'm not gonna take the last sip of this one.
It definitely brought out the vanilla in it
It did, yeah.
from the limestone.
It's smelling a lot like
Shit.
I definitely smell the oak and woodsy smell after adding that.
It smells like Eagle Rare 17. If anybody's ever had the Eagle Rare 17, yeah. If anybody's ever had the Eagle Rare 17, that's the smell I just got when I added a little bit of water and poofed it back down. Wow.
It definitely has that nice coating of flavor. No matter watered down or kept at a nice and neat playing field palate, that it definitely has that smell that fills that appetite. And
Just come on back down for a minute.
it's definitely something worth to
You can get
invest
in there. We're doing a taping.
Yeah, key over it.
Yeah, I'll get it open in a minute.
No.
Wow, that smoothed it out.
He got locked out of upstairs.
We kind of felt him, locked him away in jail.
Oh my god. Okay, let me taste this.
I definitely, I taste the honey from the dripping a little, but it definitely brought out that maple and made it very, just phenomenal.
I feel like
And I'm the one that does not like my drinks on the rocks or anything. I like mine very neat. Not drinking water with my drinks because I just like to taste that full palette of flavors. I know everyone loves to put ice cubes and everything in theirs, but for me, I just like mine very neat. To have this dropping in this is definitely something for me to reconsider for this particular bottle, that it pulls out the flavors a little more and gives you a different, level of, serenity.
And I think with that little bit of water that we added, I'm getting like strawberry, banana,
Definitely taste
apricot.
the bananas.
I'm getting. You didn't taste the bananas?
No, I definitely
Yeah.
taste the bananas.
I mean, like I'm getting all these
I agree.
fruits in my mouth. It's like I basically took a bunch of fruit
Oh, you already took
and
it.
just
but
stuffed it in my mouth.
That
Yeah.
tastes good though, I love it.
Just stuffed fruit in my mouth. It feels like I just stuffed fruit and vanilla in my mouth, like almost like a yogurt.
Imagine
like a fruit
taking, yes, I was gonna say that like vanilla yogurt
Yeah.
and add bananas freshly sliced on top with some cherries and then drizzle some maple syrup on top. I know I'm making your mouths water and everything on this, especially the ladies out there. But having that and just how smooth and creamy it
This
is,
is the best shit I've
this
had.
is definitely, an amazing palette of mixtures that they definitely aged it perfectly.
This is good.
Yes.
Wow.
This is fantastic. So
This
what
is
did you
something
take
that
after,
is a slow
after,
sip.
after a little bit of water,
Definitely.
Keith? What did it taste like?
I definitely, as I mentioned at first, was the honey and the maple. I definitely got more of the maple out, but the water added. That's what I got. I got the both the maple and the honey, and then as you added
And
the
It
not,
was
other,
sweeter.
not
It was
even
sweeter.
just the
I also-
honey, but that like how when you take fruit and age it, how the richness of the sweetness comes very condensed.
Like blackberry and stuff?
yeah,
like
it was
the real.
very rich and sweet.
it's like a whole bunch
but
of combinations
it's like
happening
that
at once, like
perfect
combos.
balance.
Like, it's constantly giving
It's
you
a
different.
flavor explosion!
Taste the rainbow.
This is probably by far the best drink that I've had.
Now, what I want to do is, since it was a collaboration of, originally the collaboration was between James Thompson and George Gavin Brown, which we all know that's Brown Foreman now, and they have similar mash bills. I went out and I smelled, after I took a taste of it, I went out and I tried Old Forester, and I was like, ooh, I know this smells from somewhere. I think the smell in this is the same smell that's in Old Forester birthday bourbon. So I just want to pass this around and smell your drink, and then smell the birthday bourbon, and see what the birthday bourbon smells like.
This is shitting on birthday bourbon right now because I want to
Yeah.
smell it from the bottom. Let me try it again to make sure.
It's got the same mash bill almost, the same nose as Old Forester.
Okay, so the Old Forester birthday one is very sweet on the smell, but it's like taking a single fruit and adding multiple fruits and having a full basket is what this one gives on the reserve versus the birthday.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, it definitely smells better, but I'm saying it smells like a 45-year-old Old Forester product, Brown Forman product almost.
Yeah, I mean, it has definitely that same direction.
Right.
But
And
wow.
unfortunately, I don't have a Yellowstone, because if I had Yellowstone, I'd like to taste it next to a Yellowstone, because it is from the Yellowstone Distillery.
I think we should try to, see about doing that maybe on another tasting.
Yeah, we can try to do that.
Definitely try
So I'm going to save the rest of this, and we'll pair it with Yellowstone and see if it tastes like Yellowstone or not. I know it tastes like Brown Forman, because the Old Forester pre-Prohibition 1920, the Old Forester birthday bourbon all have that same smell, and it's the same smell I smell in this, right? The same.
This one is definitely sitting up on.
It's giving me chills.
9 o'clock. It's definitely up on.
Now what we're going to do, so we're going to finish our glass. We're going to add a little bit of another 120 proof bourbon, just any on the shelf, Knob Creek 120 proof bourbon. What I noticed was I added other bourbon to this, and it took over the other bourbon and made more of what this is. What I'm trying to figure out is I'm trying to find a way to make more of this without having to spend my life savings. So, so what I did was I was like, ooh, I really love it, but I don't have enough to sip on it every day. So how can I make more of this? I took a little bit of this and put it in another bourbon I just had on the shelf, like my everyday drinker, and it took it overcompensated the taste of what was there and made it into 45-year-old bourbon because it's so thick and so viscous. I do want to let y'all know it is barrel strength, so it's 120 proof, this stuff. It is non-chill filtered. So if you see at the bottom of the glass, there's sediment and pieces at the bottom of the glass because it was non-chill filtered. So it has all the oils, all the stuff from in the barrel, all the goodness that, I mean, just coats your mouth, coats your tongue. Just, oh my God. Okay, alright, so I'm going to finish this last little bit with these little pieces of, like there's a few little black pieces of char at the bottom you can see, which is fantastic. I mean, it just gives it a flavor you can't believe.
I mean, this is something you see I do have one little drip left. I will point out that will not be mixed with anything else because I will be taking that down. It's definitely one of those type of drinks that you just won't leave a drop in there.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean, I know people don't like tannic, and I don't want to use the word tannic, but it definitely has like a dark fruit, sherry,
it definitely
port
has that
wine,
sherry.
like, yeah, like an after dinner type. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a like throw a fastball in your face bite. I mean, it definitely
not at all.
that
Yeah.
cold ice, like refreshing, because when you smell it, you think it's going to be very much a heavy coat of, not heavy power on the alcohol flavor.
Right.
But when you have it, that sheet of ice that hits you, it's just more of the waking up palate, and it definitely gives you all those flavors all in one cup of tea.
It makes my whole mouth is salivating. Like I feel like a dog slobbering like over meat powder. You know what I'm saying? Right? It's just like All right, let's try this. So we're gonna take something I had on the shelf, which is Knob Creek Sherlock's single barrel, just 120 proof small batch. It's just some regular stuff I drink. So this doesn't taste real good. It's meh, at best. Pour a little bit of that in each person's cup, and then we'll add a little bit of the James Thompson and Brothers. So for all you out there, for the whole 160 people that actually got a bottle of this and are going to drink it, you can make it go longer if you add a little bit of bullshit bourbon. If I can say that, I don't mean bullshit because, of course, Knob Creek's a good bourbon, but it ain't $1,800
It's just
worth.
not the same thing, Bill.
And then add a little bit of this. A little dab will do you. Oh man.
Wow, I can't wait to this one.
And as I showed you earlier, when we poured the original one, this is how I kind of changed the coloring of it. So you see the sediment, as Kevin kind of mentioned.
And here, let me show this. This is the color of that bourbon. It is dark. It is dark, 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 red, dark. It is old overfort, dark, black,
Yeah,
rich goodness.
Very, very rich color that is amazing. So comparing the smell into it, you know, you still smell
The final reserve,
flavors.
yeah. It is muted. It's not as overpowering as the stuff by itself was like you could just smell it. It was something you'd want to stick into a Febreze and just light the room up with. This now smells a little bit.
Sorry, Febreze, you may be coming.
Yeah, tell me what it is. Smell it. That's right. I'll give you a dollop and you can make me more Febrezes that smell like this. But it muted the smell, but it still has the same smell. It didn't lose any of the power. Usually when you add something to something, it changes the smell and, you know, kills the power. It still has that same smell, that same old wood flavor, rustic, like a steak.
Like a cherry wood.
Yeah, cherry wood. Yeah, cherry wood steak.
Instead of a young juvenile piece of wood, you know, it's just definitely.
And it still has that old Stitzel-Weller smell of stuff. That my wife calls it damp basement. So damp basement Stitzel-Weller smell. It still has that, even when you added some other bourbon to it. But I do smell a little bit of the other bourbon coming out as a bite in my nose. The actual Final Reserve didn't have any bite to my nose. It didn't have any sting. But now that I added another bourbon to it, I do get that little pinch back here, which a lot of people like something that, you know, has a little pinch to it. Because the Final Reserve, let me be honest with you, this Final Reserve has no pinch. No pinch. I mean, yeah, it's flavorful and flavor burst, but no burn, no afterburn, no like regurgitation, nothing like that. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna try my soup.
All right.
The younger bourbon definitely gives that bite. So from that kind of like cold burst of air, open the door, it definitely gave you that kind of that burning feeling going down. But you definitely still have those flavors on the back palate too.
It still tastes like the Final Reserve, right? It's funny how the Final Reserve took the bourbon and made it its. You know what I'm saying? It made the Final Reserve made any bourbon its bitch. Can I say it on YouTube? I don't know. I'll see if I get knocked out.
As Kevin mentioned, wanting to stretch it out, I probably would do more of a 50-50 palate to keep it with that still that refreshing taste that you want to have.
Right.
From it, but if you just want to add that little icing on top of the cake for your drink versus, you know, drinking it on its own on the reserve, that, you know, kind of do the 50-50 or just add that flavor on top of it. But as far as getting still that ice burst, I probably would do 50-50.
Now what I did notice was when I drunk this, there's no tannic no more. The wine and the port finish, that left.
That did.
Yeah, that left. So just left the fruits, the dark fruits and all that, and then just regular bourbon. But oh my God.
Yeah, the woods and
I just love that smell,
flavors
guys.
that left the tasting on the mixture.
I just want to bottle that smell. Like, if I could just have that smell for the rest of my life. Yeah, free smells. Like Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's.
Free smell. That stuff smells so good.
It does, yeah. Imagine getting their barrel.
Oh, God.
Just one of
I
them.
don't know.
Yeah. Man, if I could have one of those barrels in my house and just let it just sit and permeate. Yeah.
Linger, yeah.
That's all I want. Just a barrel sitting in the basement where I walk in and be like,
for me, I probably would be locked in its own like secret room and, you know, let the smell, you know, build in there and then just open it and be like,
Now, one thing I would say is I'm scared to smoke a cigar with this because I think the cigar would take it out. Yeah, that would take it out, and it would take away a lot of the flavors. But we'll see. We might try that. We'll try a cigar with this.
I was gonna say we should probably test that out just
Mm-hmm.
to. I think a good idea is to have a different type of cigars with each people, so you have that full body, the medium, and the light.
We'll need something extra aged though, and extra smooth, like a Padron.
Yeah,
Padron 1960 or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 1964. The 64. One of those Padrones. Will probably go real good with this. But I mean, even with the bourbon, like, okay, so usually we do. What does it taste better, alone or with a drip of water, or with a bourbon? All three to me I can't find a bad one. Like usually there's a bad one. So like with the Eagle Rare 17, it's fantastic by itself. You put water in it, it sucks. Nothing we put in this or anything we tried to do has made this suck.
I feel like if you mix this with a palette of like flavored cheeses, it may even burst it to another level too.
Well, so how do you like it? Do you like it straight? I already know your answer. I got to tell you answer. Straight with a little bit of water, or with another bourbon. How would you drink it?
I would drink it straight. I think
You
it's
like
definitely,
straight?
I mean, because I'm always that neat person. I definitely was amazed, as I mentioned earlier, I don't do mine on the rocks or anything when I drink my drinks, that when you did the drops of water, I still thought it was phenomenal. So I think whether you do it, you know, on the rocks or neat, it's going to be amazing. This is something, for me, I probably would still keep it neat and just kind of babysit it and take my time with it. It's not something that you're going to drink fast. So definitely enjoy it. And
This is a bottle you have to hide from Keith.
I would definitely.
Kill it!
I've already decided that I'm going to have my own case without a key access to Keith, but I feel like if I go to sleep, he'll still get it.
You still get it? Yeah, you still find a way to get it.
Yeah.
So
And
how
if
would
I
you
put
take
it around
it?
my neck, I think he would take the key off.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take this and eat all day. I mean, I definitely enjoy that. You know, the was it honey water?
Yeah.
The honey water and
That was good. Yeah, definitely opened it up, but I like it all just there.
Yeah.
I want
Now,
to do that.
That's what James Thompson said. Buddy Thompson, which is the son now, he said that the best way, a very small amount of sweet sherry, literally a drop or two, will smooth the harshness in the sifter of old bourbon or old cognac. And he said a little bit of honey water would probably, but to me it wasn't, I didn't get much burn off of it. I didn't get a bad taste in the back of my mouth when I drank it.
A hard burn. I would be interested in trying it the sherry way.
Yeah, we
I
need to
think
do
that would be
We
something
need to
we
get some
should
sweet
add
sherry.
that, and then with the sticks and put those in
Right.
as the next review.
But to me, even with the honey water, which is sweet, that's the whole point of that, is sweet, it still tasted good. Like, it didn't change it.
I think it brought out a little more of the sweetness of the mixtures that they added to it originally.
Right.
I thought that brought it a little more forward because it brought out a little more of that sugar content. But I don't think there's a bite to it.
Right. But it's also a trade-off. Do you like dark fruits or do you like bursting fruits? As soon as you put that sweetness in, it went from dark fruits to bursting fruits.
Refreshing.
Right. It went from dark cherries, old dark cherries, to fresh cherries. You know what I'm saying?
Apricots and
Right, apricots, that kind of stuff.
freshness.
So, to me, it's like,
I kind of like
I
that.
kinda like both,
cherries,
yeah,
though.
yeah.
I mean that one I kind of was like, you know, you get those tastes from other bottles, but you know, this one was definitely like when you finish eating that good steak or good mixture of greens, you turn around and you have that dessert and it's just like the final palate. That's kind of what this does when it's just nice and neat.
I do think this would go awesome with like a rare, medium rare steak. Oh god, like the blood and the juice of the
Because you're already
steak with
babysitting
this.
that steak.
What we need to do is take this to a.
But for my vegetarians, we would probably have a little more
What's the
something
name of
hearty,
the
like
line?
your squashes
What's the name
or
of the steak place off the Beltline?
Rathburn.
Kevin Rathman.
Yeah.
And
Kevin
We need to
Rathburn,
reach out
if
to
we
them
can find
with
you, man, we
collaboration.
need to have where you come cook a steak and we'll all drink this and we'll make
I may
this
have
happen.
to go reach out to them and
Yeah.
Might
do a
reach out.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Maybe I do that this week to see when
Could you
we get that
imagine bringing the
scheduled.
box in with nobody in there and be like, Kevin, here's he probably knows about it too. He probably doesn't know.
I'm sure he does. I'm
We're
sure
calling
everybody's
out
got
to
it.
you. This will be amazing, and we probably need to have you sit down with us to do the tasting too.
Yeah, he smokes it.
But look, to anybody who was thinking about coming out for they're releasing another one, which is 44 years, and then they're releasing a 42 year. Anybody who wants to come to that, this is shit. Don't go. It's okay. We'll get all the bottles.
Yeah, I wonder if
It's
they'll-
okay, you don't need to join us, but we'll be
Yeah,
out
we're
there.
fine. We're fine.
I
We're
wonder
fine.
will it come displayed just like this too, though?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the same
It's gonna be
thing.
the same
So this
thing.
one says first release right here. I know you can't see it too well because of the glare, but it has the date and first release. They'll have a second release and a final release, and that's gonna be the 44 and the 42 year bourbon, just like this. So they've added 3 different vattings, and all 3 had different taste profiles. They said, but the dark fruit of this is awesome. If the other ones taste like this,
What did they say about the final?
The final one is 42. So they said they all have different taste profiles to them. I guess this was the most aged one, but I don't know.
I'm interested to see how that one, the 42, compares
to the 45. Yeah,
I think that would be
47,
great.
whatever you call it, right?
Well, if it's 42, then it would be 44 to 47.
Well, it'd be no, the 42 would be 40. So it's 2 years batted. So,
so the 40
44 will be
batted.
42. The 42 will be 40. Right?
So
you
included the batting.
The batting years, yeah. So this is including, well,
So
this is 45, but with 2 batting years, it's
47.
47, right?
So the 44 would be what, 46?
No, he added the batting years.
Minus, so it'd be 42.
42.
42 with 2 years batting.
Gotcha.
Right.
So we want to let the viewers know what the dates are without the batted, and then just let them know 2 years added on. With the
Right,
batted.
right.
So they don't
So-
get that mix up one, especially when they're looking up these materials because they don't advertise it on the
Right,
batted.
so this one was 45, the other one would be 42, and the one before that would be 40, plus 2 years batting to each one of them, which made this one 47, basically.
Which the final would be 40, so it would be 42.
42, right, yeah, the final one they released, yeah. I mean, God.
I would love to, at the end, when they do the final releasing, do the comparison of the two.
So they actually had it. So here's the thing they did, and I didn't go to this because I had to get back, I had to work. But after I bought the bottles, they had a $150 tasting that sold out of people that went to taste this. Jack Rose came down from New York. If anybody knows about the Jack Rose bar, they have all the bourbons, all the fancy bourbons. And the Van Winkles were there, because the Van Winkles are good friends with the Thompsons, and the Thompsons were there, and they did a metered tasting or something of this. But oh God, man, the nose on this is just, the glass still smells and there's nothing in it, man. The glass just, it smells like a full glass of bourbon and there's nothing in it. How's your smell with nothing in it? Smell your glass, yeah. It smells full, yeah.
So as Kevin mentioned, I just got one little drop left, as I love doing at the end. I mean, you still smell that rich fruitiness.
It's velvety texture.
Definitely a creamy velvet.
If y'all go back to the Hofstadler's rye that we did, the 16-year-old rye, it has that same thick, viscous oil that coats your tongue. But it's not hot like the Hofstadler's. The Hofstadler's was hot. It was, very overpowering, but it was oily. It was good. This is no burn, no heat, just oil and dried fruits like chocolate, berry, dark cherry, blackberry the sweet of the juice. Did I say that?
Yep.
Coin that. Blackberry the sweet of the juice.
It definitely
He's
lives
got
up to
two
that.
bottles. Blackberry the sweet of the juice. Guys, I don't know what to say about this. Y'all gotta come down and taste this, man. Hit me up, come down, taste this bourbon.
That's good.
I never thought 45 years would be good. I thought it was gonna suck. I was like, it's sat in the barrel too long. It's
Keeps us looking young too.
Yeah, 45 years old. I'm not even 45 yet. God dog. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. When I'm 45, I'm busting this bottle open.
I don't even care if I'm 65. We can bust the bottle open.
Yeah, we're gonna have a time with this bottle. So I'm gonna sparingly give sips to good friends.
And hold that one up closer to them so they can actually see the coloration.
So it's a 100
So
milliliter
I'll actually
bottle.
come around.
Yeah, and here's the coloration so you can see.
Let me see it real quick.
It's so dark and it's opaque. You can't even see through it. You can't even see through the bottle. It's like, yeah, look at that. It's just opaque.
Yeah, it's deep.
It is opaque. It has. And
It is
it kind of resembles
phenomenal.
Hennessy.
yeah. Well,
It's the same color as Hennessy.
yeah, but Hennessy you can see through.
This you still can't even see
Yeah, it's
through it.
dark.
Like you
Yeah,
see
it's
how
a little
rich
dark,
that
yeah.
is. Like even through Keith.
You can't see his face, right?
It's
Yeah,
darker
the bottle,
than
right?
him.
Yeah.
I
It's darker
love
than
you.
Keith. Oh my God, it's darker than Keith. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I love you.
Who knows, right?
No, it's very rich. Like as Kevin mentioned, as you see me putting my hand behind it, it still has that rich caramel color, and like when you drink it, it has that sediment, as you mentioned. I
Yeah.
know I'm away from the microphone. I know
Yeah.
I'm a soft talker.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, but definitely, as you see, give that to Kevin.
God, dog.
I know that's his baby right there. as I said, you know, I'm sorry I was away from the microphone.
And I'm sorry, guys. We're at like 35 minutes here. This is probably one of the longer posts we've done.
But well
damn,
worth
it's
it.
worth it. Yeah, this is fantastic. Fantastic. So here's what it looks like. The box comes with all these little things in it, little bounce and everything. Oh my God, guys. All right. So we're gonna have some more bourbon members over here, and we'll get them to try it. We also need to try it with the sweet cherry, and we need to find a cigar. So I'm gonna
cigars, cherries, and then I want to do a palette of cheeses because I know a lot of our viewers like to have some different mixtures,
right,
you know, when they do their drinks.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do another one of these in my cigar room, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to make sure the lighting is good because last time the lighting kind of sucked. I'm going to try to make sure I have enough lighting in there.
I'll bring one of the lights down.
Okay, you bring one of those lights, one of those camera lights. Mm-hmm. And then we're also going to have John and Zakia, our cigar aficionados. We're going to have them pair a cigar with this. I hope that it doesn't kill this because, oh my God, I just hope it doesn't.
We may need actually, if we do get that, reach out to the Rackburns to, you know, do the pairing maybe hopefully there because I know that we do have the cigars that they do smoke out in the backside. That to have that steak in the cigars and have that different mixture, especially inviting out, you know, the owners to do that and do our tasting there. So hopefully you'll see forward. If not, then we'll be doing another pairing. But you know, definitely going to move this forward to fancy your palate. If y'all have any questions, please let Kevin know.
Yeah. Ask me any questions. I'll
especially
answer about
on this.
Yeah.
You know, we'll love to definitely answer you on them.
And I'm being honest. This is the second time I've had this.
This is amazing.
This is the first time they've had this. Mm-hmm. I literally opened it. We sat down and we said we're going to do this on a day. They
I remember him opening it. I smelled it,
right,
and I was like, "That's amazing." So to actually smell it again and taste it is lived up to, you know, the release. I'm definitely curious to see about comparing. Unfortunately, you know, I wasn't up there to do any of that on the tastings comparing, but I would love to be able to record and let y'all know how that compares from the final to the first release.
And anybody in Atlanta wants to go up there for that release, call me. We'll all go up there together for the next release because I'm definitely heading up there to get another barrel. Yeah. Yeah, so we can all go together. We can caravan together and go up there. I mean, this is a piece of history. You'll never find this again. They're not going to make another 45-year-old bourbon. Yeah. I mean, shit, the old Rip Van Winkle 25 years was 1800. This is 45 years at 1800. God, dog.
That's good.
Thank you to Buddy Thompson, man. I took a picture with him. He's a solid guy, too, man. He was really cool. He came out there while we were out there in the line and gave us free smells and then bought us pizza and donuts in the morning. Like, I mean, the guy cares. He sat out there and talked to me. And I know I talked his ear off. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Kevin is a talker, as you can see.
I asked him all kinds of questions about his Nashville. I threw it all at him. I sat down there for 30 minutes talking to him. He was, and he's an older gentleman. He was out there in the cold, and I felt bad keeping him out there, but he was just talking, and he loved it.
And let us know, because when we go to the next releasing, if y'all aren't able to make it, there's particular things if he's out there that you want to kind of ask about, you know, this reserve, then let us know because we'll definitely run our mouth off with Kevin, you know, to get the answers. But, you know, it's definitely a piece of history right here.
Yeah, it's fantastic, guys. All right, we're up to 38 minutes.
All right, well.
See y'all later. Y'all check us out. West Atlanta Bourbon Society. We're going to make this happen. All right.